Sugar maple. Most people know maple syrup comes from trees, but did you know there are actually a bunch of different trees you can tap for syrup? Sugar maple is the most famous one, and it's where everything starts. The sugar maple is the classic syrup tree. It grows mostly in the Northeast, places like Vermont, New York, and Maine, and it makes the syrup you've probably put on your pancakes your whole life. Here's how it works. In late winter, right when the weather starts warming up but nights are still freezing, the tree pushes sap up through its trunk. Farmers drill a small hole in the tree, stick in a tap, and collect that sap in a bucket or tube. Then they boil it down. Here's the crazy part. It takes 40 gallons of sap just to make 1 gallon of syrup. You're basically boiling off almost all the water to get to the good stuff. The flavor changes depending on when in the season you tap it. Early season syrup is lighter and sweeter. Late season syrup is darker and has a stronger, almost butterscotch taste. Same tree, same process, different time of year, completely different syrup. Birch. Most people have never heard of birch syrup, but in Alaska and parts of northern Europe, it's been around for hundreds of years. Birch trees don't have as much sugar in their sap as maple trees do, which creates a problem. Remember how maple takes 40 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of syrup? Birch takes up to 150 gallons for the same amount. That's almost 4 times as much work, which is why birch syrup costs 2 to 3 times more than maple. So why bother? Because birch syrup tastes completely different from maple. It's less sweet and more complex. People describe it as having a slight spice to it, almost like a mix of molasses and something earthy. It's not really something you'd pour straight onto pancakes. It's more like a flavoring. Cooks use it in sauces, glazes, and marinades where they want something interesting and a little unexpected. Birch syrup production is growing in Alaska and the Pacific Northwest, and a few small farms in the upper Midwest are starting to make it too. If you've never tried it, it'll surprise you. It doesn't taste anything like you'd expect. Black walnut. Black walnut trees grow all over the Midwest and eastern United States, millions of them, in forests and backyards and along roadsides. And almost none of that potential syrup is being used. That's a wild amount of untapped sweetness just sitting there. Black walnut syrup is made the same way as maple syrup. You tap the tree, collect the sap, and boil it down. The sugar content and the amount of sap you get are similar to maple, so the process is basically identical. The season sometimes runs even longer than maple because walnut trees wake up later in spring, which means they keep producing sap after the maple season has already ended. Here's the surprising part about the flavor. You might expect black walnut syrup to taste like black walnuts, intensely nutty and strong, but it doesn't. The syrup is actually mild and light with just a gentle, nutty background flavor. It's nothing like biting into the nut. People who try it for the first time are usually a little shocked by how approachable it is. You could swap it for maple syrup in almost any recipe and most people wouldn't even notice. They just think the maple tasted a little different and really good. Butternut. Butternut trees, also called white walnut trees, make a syrup that people describe as smooth, light, and delicate with a mild, nutty flavor. It sounds like something worth trying, right? Here's the problem. You might never get the chance. A fungal disease called butternut canker arrived in North America in the mid-1900s and has been slowly killing butternut trees ever since. It weakens the wood and eventually kills the whole tree, and it spreads easily. In large parts of the eastern United States and Canada, most of the native butternut trees are already gone. The butternut is now listed as endangered in Canada, and in many American states, it's considered a tree in serious trouble. Some people in the syrup community say you shouldn't tap butternut trees at all right now. The trees are rare enough that the priority should be letting them survive and hopefully recover, not tapping them for syrup. There are still a few people who make it from trees on their own land, and if you ever come across a bottle of real butternut syrup, it's genuinely a rare thing. But the bigger story here is about a tree that used to be common, got hit by a disease, and is now disappearing. The syrup is almost secondary. Heartnut, Japanese walnut. Heartnut trees came to North America from Japan in the late 1800s and have been growing here ever since. The name comes from the shape of the nut. Crack one open and it looks like a little heart. These trees are members of the walnut family, and just like their relatives, they can be tapped for syrup. Heartnut syrup is mild and gently sweet, not super distinctive, but solid and good. The trees produce sap with a decent amount of sugar, though they make less sap overall than maple or black walnut trees, so you need more trees to get the same amount of syrup. The main reason heartnut syrup matters is that it's a great substitute for butternut syrup. Remember how butternut trees are endangered and most producers think you shouldn't tap them? Heartnut is the answer to that. It's in the same family, produces a similar syrup, and the trees are healthy and available to tap without any guilt. For people who want that light, mild walnut family syrup flavor without harming a tree that's already struggling, Heartnut is exactly what they're looking for. Box elder. Here's something most people don't know. Box elder is actually a maple tree. Not the famous kind, but it belongs to the same family. It's also one of the most overlooked trees in America, often considered a weed tree because it grows fast, spreads aggressively, and doesn't have the same reputation as its more famous relatives. Box elder syrup is real, and people make it. The sap has a bit less sugar than sugar maple, so it takes about 60 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of syrup instead of 40. The trees are also smaller, so you get less sap from each one. What box elder has going for it is geography. It grows across the Midwest, the Great Plains, and the Southwest, places where sugar maple trees simply don't exist. For people in those regions who want to tap a tree and make their own syrup, box elder is often the only realistic option. The flavor is like a lighter version of maple, clean and sweet, but without the deep complexity you get from a premium Vermont maple syrup. It's not going to beat the fancy stuff, but it's genuine homemade tree syrup, and it's better than anything you could buy at the grocery store. That counts for a lot. Sycamore. Sycamore trees are everywhere in America. They grow along riverbanks, in parks, in backyards, along city streets. You've almost certainly seen one. They're the trees with that distinctive patchy bark that looks like a camouflage pattern in white, green, and brown, and almost nobody knows you can tap them for syrup. Sycamore sap has less sugar than maple sap, so you need more of it to make the same amount of syrup. That makes production less efficient, but the flavor that comes out of a sycamore is worth it. People who make sycamore syrup consistently describe the same thing: butterscotch. The syrup tastes noticeably like butterscotch candy, with hints of honey and caramel. It's different enough from maple to be genuinely interesting and similar enough to still work great on pancakes and waffles. The wild thing is how available these trees are. Sycamores grow from Maine to Florida, from the East Coast to the Great Plains. There's a good chance you have one within walking distance of where you are right now. The reason almost nobody makes sycamore syrup isn't because the trees are rare or the process is difficult. It's just that nobody told people it was possible. Now you know. Alder. Alder trees grow in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon, Washington, Northern California, and up into Alaska. And they belong to the same family as birch. If you live on the West Coast and you've been near a river or a creek, you've probably walked past hundreds of alder trees without giving them a second thought. Alder sap has a lower sugar content similar to birch, so making syrup from it takes more sap than maple. But the flavor that comes out is genuinely unlike anything else on this list. People who taste alder syrup keep reaching for the same comparison: banana. Not artificial banana candy, but a soft, natural banana note alongside hints of vanilla and caramel. It's unexpected and a little hard to believe until you taste it. That flavor comes from specific natural compounds in the sap that concentrate when you boil it down. Alder syrup is about as rare as it gets in the American syrup world. A small number of producers in the Pacific Northwest make it, mostly as a way to create a local alternative to maple, which doesn't grow in that region in useful quantities. For people on the West Coast who want a tree syrup connected to where they actually live, alder is it. It's a regional product, made from a tree that belongs to that specific landscape, and it tastes like nothing else you've ever put on your breakfast. Which one would you try first if you could find it? Stick with maple or go weird. Which tree syrup would you actually buy?